Hey, welcome again. Here we are, another video session. This one's measuring what matters, KPIs, dashboards, and ROI. This is when we try to visualize, make things happen, give us some guidance as to where we go next. What gets measured gets done. We've heard that 100 times. Two ways to look at that, tactical and strategic. Tactical measures, those short-term execution like open rates, cost per clicks, and things like that. And then strategic, which lean a little more to the longer term. So when we think about tactical, it's useful in campaign optimization, of course. It helps identify areas we can improve and make adjustments to achieve better results. On the other side of the coin, on strategic, it gives leadership the confidence that marketing is not just working, but working on the right things. And that's really a critical kind of thing as you move up the ladder in the business, right? So let's address this idea of attribution models and engagement scoring. You know, when you think about the consumer journey was awareness, consideration, decision, conversion, post-purchase. And parallel to that are the typical touch points, display ads, website visits, free trial, checkout, loyalty emails. Now, let's plot that on the timeline, if you will, in terms of first touch, last touch, linear, time decay when things fall apart and when things come together, and then algorithmic. So we think about the first touch. It gives full credit to first integration, Facebook ads. Last touch is that favors staged interactions like an email that leads to a purchase. Linear splits the credit. It considers the full path result. Time decay favors the recent interactions, retargeting and things like that, and recent ad clicks. And those things that kind of die on the vine too, like empty carts. Algorithmic assigns weight based on patterns in large data sets, okay? So what are the insights we're trying to generate? Which channels drive discovery? Which content moves users to the next stage? Where does drop-off or decay occur? How do marketing activities work together? How does this affect each tech stack choice and interaction? And what we try to get from that is optimization, right? That's the goal. Adjust budget allocation primarily. We never want to spend more than we should, and we always want to keep the spending as efficient as possible and also as effectively as possible across channels and content types. So we personalize the journey, right? That goes to the top of the chart there. That we are always focused on the consumer and moving the consumer through the journey to benefit us, reinforcing high-value touch points. We reduce the friction where low-converting touch points dominate. That's the whole concept here. So let's move on to this idea of long-term customer lifetime value, CLV. It shifts the focus from that tactical kind of thing to the strategic and drives smarter decision-making across the entire marketing funnel. The formula is simply this: average purchase time frequency times the lifespan minus the acquisition cost. So it's not just what gets the click, which we spend a lot of time, people doing the black hat stuff, spend a lot of time getting clicks. We're more interested in what brings the most valuable customers. Example might be if CLV is $1,200 and CAC, cost of acquisition, is $200, that's sustainable. But if CAC exceeds CLV, you're losing money, right? So knowing how much a customer is worth over time allows marketers to set appropriate customer acquisition cost thresholds. That's what we're all about here. Now, we move on to the next level, and that is putting all of this data into, you've talked in your classes about the idea of maybe using something like Tableau or Power BI for custom enterprise visualizations, a Google Looker Studio for nimble dashboards, Marketing Cloud and HubSpot for out-of-the-box reporting. And then we really find out that the best dashboards are layered with executive level summaries on top and deeper diagnostic views below. So that's really the whole concept of putting this stuff so that the organization's members, top to bottom, can see where we're heading and whether or not we're getting there. So the metrics really are about driving action. And we have to have insight, of course, to drive action. We have to have insight, which gives us that deeper understanding, the yaha, the eureka. All the metrics in the world don't matter if they don't lead to action. The real goal of measurement is to inform decisions across your stack, right? From media buying to product messaging to customer experience. Ask these questions. Are your KPIs aligned with business goals? Are we optimizing for customer journey, not just isolated touch points? And are we building a feedback loop between what we learn and what we do? Strategic measurement isn't passive reporting, it's active learning. That's a very important lesson we need to take home. Bringing it all together, when your KPIs, dashboards, and ROI models are integrated, the marketing function transforms from a cost center to a growth engine. Look at this for a second. It's not about tracking everything, is it? We have to rationalize. It's about measuring what matters most. We hope and work toward using technology to make knowledge a visible thing that will help to improve performance across the entire marketing and communication ecosystem. And then finally, we must always be rationalizing the tech stack. That is reducing the complexity and costs associated with technology to make it more efficient and effective. Creativity is the last strategic advantage, we learned. And to win business, I should say, be creative in the way you gather information to generate insights. So let's summarize here real quickly. From tactical KPIs to strategic insights, from dashboard to ROI models, your job is to ensure your team isn't just collecting data, but using it to create value. To recap, distinguish tactical versus strategic KPIs. Understand attribution and engagement models. Evaluate dashboard tools. Concept here is to make insight-driven decisions. Okay, next up, we're going to be talking about success, failure, and no-code empowerment. Always fun to be with you. See you next time. Thanks.